Welcome to the world of ink, legend, and lore. From the dusty shelves of our childhood to the screens of today, we bring these timeless tales to life. This is Bharat Chintan, where the classic art of Indian storytelling meets a new generation. Sit back as we open the pages of Rangasiyar. Once upon a time, in a dense forest near a bustling village, lived an old jackal named Neel. His legs were tired and his stomach was often empty. One evening, driven by deep hunger, Neel crept into the village, hoping to find a scrap of food left behind by humans. As Neel prowled through the shadows, a pack of village dogs spotted him. They barked and lunged, chasing him through the narrow streets. Panicked, Neel leaped over a fence and landed with a great splash inside a giant wooden vat standing in a dyer's yard. Neel shivered in the cold liquid until the dogs wandered away. When he finally climbed out, he gasped, for the tip of his nose to the end of his tail, he was no longer a dusty brown jackal. He was a brilliant, shimmering indigo blue. He looked like a creature fallen from the sky. Neel returned to the forest the next morning. When the other animals saw him, they gasped in terror. They had never seen a magnificent and strange beast like him. Even Kesari, the mighty lion, the king of the woods, paused in his track, wondering who this blue stranger could be. Seeing their fear, Neel stood tall. "Don't be afraid," he proclaimed in a deep, booming voice. "The heavens have sent me to be your protector. I am the king of all creatures, chosen to bring order to this forest." He looked towards Airavat, the great elephant, who lowered his trunk in respect. Life changed quickly for Neel. He sat upon a throne of soft moss while the strongest animals served him. Shardul, the fierce tiger, hunted for Neel every day and brought him the finest meals. Neel grew fat and happy, enjoying his life of lies and luxury. Neel knew that other jackals might recognize his voice or his scent, so to keep his secret safe, he called Jambuka, the leader of a local jackal pack. "You and your kind are too loud and messy for my royal court," Neel barked. "Leave this part of the forest at once." One night, a full moon rose high above the trees, casting a silver glow over the jungle. Neel sat alone on his hill, feeling very important. The air was cool and still until a distant sound drifted through the trees. It was the familiar, rhythmic yapping of a jackal pack. In the distance, Jambuka and his pack began to howl at the moon. "Ooh, ooh, ooh." The sound stirred something deep inside Neel. Forgetting his royal throne and his blue fur, he lifted his snout and let out a long, piercing howl in return. Kesari, who was resting nearby, jumped up in shock. "He is no king, he is just a common jackal," Kesari roared. The animals realized they had been fooled. Neel didn't wait for them to catch him. He bolted into the bushes, the blue dye beginning to fade in the morning dew. He learned that night that no matter how much you change your color, your true nature will always show. The ink may dry, but the story lives on. Thank you for joining us for this journey through the archives of our imagination. If you enjoyed this glimpse into our heritage, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the pages turning. Until next time, keep the legends alive.